This is CASSIUS for iPhone TV. Shut up, you. Proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm joined by the WBA
featherweight champion of the world from Nottingham, England. Robin Hood, Leigh Wood. Yeah, rhymes.
Leigh Wood. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Good.
Was it livelier than yesterday? Was it about the same?
He had a good turnout. Nothing I didn't expect. I thought he was going to pull a few more strings and do a few more bits and bobs, but I expected the gloves. Pretty much as expected, really. Just thought he'd pull a few more things out of the bag. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't quite see what you did, but did you throw the glove down in a rage?
I just fricked him on the floor. I thought there'd be in a rush to pick him up, all his fans, but no one wanted him. No one gives a fuck.
Well, for the second time, the press conference seemed to be centred around your trainer, Ben.
Yeah, they keep digging him out, don't they? Obsession, maybe. Borderline obsession. There's no point in me coming and wasting this jet. I didn't even get a chance to speak. They didn't even let me, did they? I should have stayed at home. How much did it cost then? But no, it went as expected. I don't think the respect was there on the table, but it's just a pantomime, isn't it? It's not really. He's done more of these than me, especially when it's not fight week. So you have to let him have his days and have his moment, have his 15 minutes, and come fight night. That's where I'm best at.
Trying to plant a seed in your head that your trainer doesn't have confidence in you?
I don't know, mate, but like I said, I think it was took out of context. I know for a fact he knew I was going to win that fight. He did everything he could do to train me for that fight. He was training me late nights, early mornings, a lot of time, effort and patience as well, because it was early doors back then. A lot of patience, so it didn't really matter what they say. I know what he said was, if I don't get this right, I could lose. But if he gets this right, I'll win, which is 100% true. And this fight as well, it's the same.
While we're here, what was your summary of the two press conferences?
Really good. I mean, it's funny because, like, before the press conference, Jamie and Ben were talking like quite friendly and like talking boxing, and then once it started, Jamie just went in on Ben again, which is like, it is pantomime at the end of the day, but it's weird in that scenario. Like, I remember with David Hay, do you remember when we done the Bellevue press conference, and he absolutely ripped me to shreds, like, it's all about you, apples and pears, I'm going to end Matchroom. And then 2 hours later he phoned me up and I saw his number. I was like, cheeky fucker. And I went, hello? And he went, how good was that? And I was like, what? And he went, that was brilliant, that was. And I thought, so I don't know how you felt about it, but it was a bit like that today as well. But I think underneath it all, it's just everyone wants to win. You know, like, they're desperate to win this fight. And I do think you're going to see a lot of stuff over social media over the next 5 or 6 weeks, just trying to get edges. Mind games, like putting the pressure on Leigh, or you've never boxed in your hometown, like you don't understand the pressures. No. I say the other way. Fighting in front of your hometown is actually a big blessing and a big advantage. So, I don't know.
Actually, you could clear up. I did an interview earlier with Ben and Jamie together, and the thing about MSG came up, and he was saying to you, wasn't he? Jamie was saying to you that, you know, everyone wants to fight at MSG, but he was insistent that he's always wanted this fight here in Nottingham with the view to one day fighting at the City Ground.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I chose the venue to this fight because I won the purse bid. I put the money up, and there were 3 options: Nottingham, Madison Square Garden or Belfast. I didn't want to go to Madison Square Garden because we've got Taylor Serrano there the month after, and I didn't want to do it early in the morning UK time. I wanted a big UK fight for DAZN, so we were left with Belfast and Nottingham. Odyssey holds 9,000, Nottingham holds 9,000. The revenue at the gate is exactly the same, and Leigh Wood's our fighter. So I couldn't really go to Belfast and go, all right, Leigh, we're going to Belfast. And when we won the purse bid, he was on me all the time. Bring it to Nottingham, do it at City Ground. It was too early for the City Ground, but bring it to Nottingham. And that's what we done. And I knew that Conlon would bring 2,000 or 3,000 Irish fans, so the atmosphere will be brilliant. But you know, Leigh's got to use that home advantage to his advantage and let it lift him. You know, like Carl Froch did 10 years ago, same thing. He wouldn't have won that fight if it weren't in Nottingham. And maybe Leigh wouldn't have won this fight if it weren't in Nottingham. We'll see on the night. But it's a big advantage to be fighting in front of his own people. It should inspire him.
Adamant was you that this fight needed to take place in Nottingham as you being defending champion?
Look, how often does a fighter win a world title and then first defence go overseas and turn his opponent's back on? It don't happen. And it's everything that's wrong with boxing if it does happen. You know, champion should get the right to defend in his own city. And that's rightfully, like, they're trying to shout off, oh, you didn't want to come to... Why the fuck would I want to go to Belfast to defend my world title when I've just won one? Would they do it? If he was champion, I'd be on the first flight to go fight for him in his city to try to take it off him. And that I won't feel right doing it in my own city if I won, if he was champion. So it's the other way around, I'm champion, this is how it should be. And that's boxing.
You just look at the last 2 days as just a bit of mind games and not to take it too seriously. There's still 7 weeks of this that could be left. Obviously, you're not going to be face to face like you have been in the last 2 days, but social media, etc., you're going to expect a bit of that?
Possibly, yeah. I think you're just building the fight. Keeps this guy happy when they're pulling things out, pulling gloves out, doing all the tweets and that. You know what I mean? It's good for the zone. It's good for Matchroom. It's good for the fans. It builds the fight nicely, but it's not going to put me off. It's not going to break my focus. Not going to distract me. I can't see any other reason why I'd want to do it other than to build a fight.
I don't think the subject of your power has come up over the last 2 days, has it?
If you could take my power away, if this is my power bar and you just squeeze it down, I will still win this fight. I think sometimes people overlook all my attributes. Dedication, like I give everything to boxing. I don't go out and drink. I don't eat crap. I rest. I live like a true athlete. You know what I mean? My desire to win, resilience, all these other things that go around it. The power is great to have in your back pocket. Don't get me wrong, because a punch can change a fight, can win a fight. But all the other things that go around it, people overlook. Even my skill set as well. Like my last fight, I know I knocked him out in the end, but I nearly won every round first, and at a breeze.
Great story Leigh's got, isn't it? I mean, we talk about like 10 years ago, kind of what the situation he was in there.
I promoted his fight against Gavin McDonnell, and I thought Leigh was a massive favourite that night, and Gavin McDonnell stopped him in Hull, and came back from there, and he's not a spring chicken either. So this is really like an unbelievable fairy tale story what's happened to him, because he went in the Kanzu fight, done well in the Golden Contract, but he also rolled the dice in the Kanzu fight. He had no choice but to roll the dice, but for not a lot of money, and we've ended up with a monster purse bid. He's getting a fortune, but also true story it's a true story, right? But what comes with it through a win in this fight is bigger fortunes and bigger legacy fights, city ground fights, all that kind of stuff. And he's given his whole life to boxing. I'm just pleased that whatever happens to Leigh Wood, he can leave financially secure now and with great memories as a world champion. The rest is up to him. If he's good enough, he can go on and have unification fights at the city ground. He can do amazing things. That's down to him and Ben. We've done our job. I want to see him win. I believe he wins this fight. But everything's there for him, and that's what it comes down to, is how much do you want it? How good are you? Because now it's on a plate. You win this fight, and there's 4 or 5 more of these, but 3-4 times as big.
Leigh, I know Eddie mentioned this in the press conference, but I don't suppose you're even thinking about kind of what's happening the month after with the whole Warrington and
2 weeks.
What?
2 weeks after.
2 weeks after. Oh yeah, 2 weeks after with Warrington and Martinez.
I'm just focused on this fight, because all that, if I start thinking about that and start looking at that, it's just energy that should be where my energy should be, which is 100% on Continent. Don't get me wrong, there's some great opportunities after this, but if I'm not focused, then they're going to disappear. They're going to dissolve into the abyss. I'm 100% confident getting the job done. 100%. My story don't stop here, and it's going to be some story to tell by the end of it.
few references to your choice of travel from the Conlands today in the press conference.
Bitter, salty, bit salty. Look, to be honest, this is my first time in a chartered jet, plane, jet, quality jet. So it's not something that I'm used to myself, but it's nice and better than being on a Ryanair flight with them or British Airways, whatever it was on. That would have been boring, wouldn't it?
All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. Appreciate your time over the last couple of days, and 7 weeks out, Nottingham will be buzzing.
I've had a massive response from tickets today. So thank you for everyone that's bought a ticket, been part of it. It's going to be electric. It is going to be electric. They thought they was going to come to Nottingham and take over. Have a word. Have a word.